Buried scratch.
Buried scratch? Really?
Why isn't it haunted?
I don't know.
Does it frighten you, the things that happen here?
Oh, well, it did first, but now I've got more used to it.
And the question remains, like everyone always asks, is it really a little girl or is it something posing as the spirit of a little girl? Sally, we brought you a nice new pretty doll. Sally, do you like that new doll we got you?
I'd like to know how you make this noise without bashing Janet's vocal cord to pieces. If I do it for half a minute, I get
That was phenomenal. Reach out and try and touch that. 3, 2, 1. What did it just do? It reached out and touched it. And it just went off. It did.
Welcome, dear viewers, to my spine-tingling horror story channel. I'm thrilled to have you join me as we journey into the world of the unknown. Brace yourselves for a relentless cascade of spine-chilling tales that will haunt your every thought. Keep your eyes glued to the screen and ensure you hit that subscribe button to stay connected with our descent into the darkness. The nightmares are about to unfold, and it all starts now. The Sallie house is a small, two-story brick house in Atchison, Kansas. It was built in the mid-1800s and is said to be haunted by the ghost of a young girl named Sallie. The story goes that Sallie died in the house while undergoing surgery for appendicitis. The doctor who performed the surgery, Dr. Finney, was not a very experienced surgeon, and he cut into Sallie before the anesthesia kicked in. Sallie screamed in pain and bled to death. Since then, the Sallie house has been the scene of many strange and unexplained occurrences. People have reported seeing apparitions of a young girl, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling cold spots. Some have even been physically attacked. One of the most famous stories about the Sallie house is about a young couple who moved into the house in 1993. Their dog began to growl at nothing, especially near the upstairs nursery. Soon after, the couple began to experience strange things. They would hear footsteps in the hallway when no one was there. The lights would flicker on and off. And one night, the husband was attacked by an unseen force. The couple eventually moved out of the house, but the Sallie house's reputation as a haunted house only grew. It has been featured on several paranormal television shows, and it is now a popular tourist destination for those who are looking for a scare. One night, a group of friends decided to go to the Sallie house for a Halloween party. They had heard all the stories, but they didn't believe them. They thought it would be fun to spend a night in the haunted house and see if anything happened. The friends arrived at the house late at night. They were all a little nervous, but they tried to act brave. They went inside and started exploring. At first, nothing happened. But then, they started to hear strange noises. There were footsteps in the hallway, and they could hear someone whispering. They also saw shadows moving out of the corner of their eyes. The friends started to get scared. They wanted to leave, but they were too afraid to move. They just stood there, frozen in fear. Suddenly, they heard a loud noise. It sounded like something had crashed into the wall. The friends screamed and ran out of the house. They didn't stop running until they were safely back in their car. The friends never went back to the Sallie house. They said they would never forget the night they spent in the haunted house. Whether or not the Sallie house is actually haunted, it is a place that has captured the imagination of many people. It is a reminder that there are some things in this world that we do not understand. The Enfield Poltergeist is one of the most well-documented cases of paranormal activity in history. It took place in a council house in Enfield, North London, between 1977 and 1979. The alleged poltergeist activity centered around two sisters, Janet and Margaret Hodgson, who were aged 11 and 13 at the time. The haunting began in August 1977, when Peggy Hodgson, the mother of the two girls, called the police to report that furniture was moving and that her children had heard knocking sounds on the walls. The police constable who responded to the call witnessed a chair wobble and slide but could not determine the cause of the movement. Over the next 2 years, the haunting became increasingly violent. Objects were thrown around the house, furniture was overturned, and the girls were physically attacked. The poltergeist also spoke through the girls, using a gruff, male voice. The Hodgson family was eventually investigated by the Society for Psychical Research, SPR, a group of paranormal researchers. The SPR's investigators, including Maurice Grosse and Guy Lyon Playfair, concluded that the haunting was genuine. They also claimed to have recorded evidence of the poltergeist's voice on tape. The Enfield Poltergeist case has been the subject of much debate and controversy. Some people believe that the haunting was a hoax, while others believe that it was a genuine case of paranormal activity. However, there is no doubt that the case was terrifying for the Hodgson family, and it remains one of the most fascinating and well-documented cases of poltergeist activity in history. Here is a scary story about one of the incidents that took place during the Enfield Poltergeist haunting. One night, the Hodgson family was sitting in the living room when they heard a loud crash. They went to investigate and found that a heavy chest of drawers had been thrown across the room. The drawers were all open, and the contents were strewn everywhere. The family was terrified. They didn't know what to do. They called the police, but the police couldn't find any explanation for what had happened. The next day, the family was visited by Maurice Grosse and Guy Lyon Playfair, the SPR investigators. Grosse and Playfair examined the scene of the disturbance and conducted a number of tests. They concluded that the chest of drawers had been thrown by an unseen force. The Hodgson family continued to experience paranormal activity for the next 2 years. The poltergeist eventually stopped haunting them, but the experience left a lasting impression on them. The Enfield Poltergeist case is a reminder that there are still things in this world that we do not understand. It is a story that is both terrifying and fascinating, and it continues to be debated and discussed today. Thank you for joining us on this night of terror. Don't let the fear end here. Make sure to subscribe for more spine-tingling nightmares in the future. Until then, may your dreams be forever haunted by the echoes of our chilling tales.